Hi, let's take a look at the different types of simulation options and alarms and collisions that we have in NC Simul. When your job is ready to go, you can go to the Simulation tab where you see we have settings, collisions, alarms, tolerances, options, and brakes. Brakes, by the way, is only accessible if you are in the brake option. If I were to be in a different type of simulation mode, the brakes button is grayed out. But if I'm in brake option, we'll take a look at that. Settings opens up the settings menu. And in here we have our alarms and tolerances and everything. Or if I were to click on each specific one, so let's talk about brakes, we open that same menu, only simply put on the brakes tab. So in this video I'm going to focus on how to use the brake option simulation, and you can see that we have selected the predefined brakes where we can brake on every tool change. Every time there's an M6, we call it tool 1, tool 2, we get a pause in the simulation where I then need to click on it again. We can brake on every stop or op-stop code in the program. I can specify also a specific code that it will stop on every time it sees it in our program. We can brake every certain amount of blocks, every 10 lines, every 20 lines, every 50 lines. We will have a pause in the simulation. But for the most part, I think the majority of the time you would have just brake on every alarm. So any type of collision or any type of alarm that pops up, you will want to brake on that. And to brake on any breakpoints in the program, which, as you recall, is this button right here. When you are in a program, you can just click on that button and add a breakpoint in your program. A neat little feature is this reverse simulation. By default, I think it's set to be off, but we can turn that on and put in a certain amount of blocks in memory. So just for fun, let's put 100 blocks in memory. And this will remember these blocks so that we can put material back on without resetting the simulation. So let me turn on my tool change just to show you how that'll work and break every alarm, and let's click on OK. So if I hit play, we've now stopped on a tool change since we got to our tool 1 and our M6, so we had a pause. So I can click play again. We'll do the rest of it until we get to tool number 2. So there's a pause again. I'll hit play one more time. We're going to tool 3. So finally, we will cut our part. If there would have been any crashes, it would have paused. So let me just change the value in here so that I know we'll get a crash. And in fact, I'm just going to go into my brakes and remove that stop on the tool change. So we don't necessarily need that. I don't think in most cases. So now we will just go, and once we have a crash, it's going to pause the simulation. This is because I told it to pause on every alarm. And it'll pause again on a future crash, and we'll just get to the end. And we'll see that we have some grayish blue lines, and that's where the reverse simulation comes into play. You can see we are putting some material on. In the next pass, it's going to be a lot more obvious that here we are putting material on, and I'm just going up and down here with my cursor on my keyboard. So on and off, going up and down without resetting or running a new simulation. It has kept these blocks in memory so we can see what's happening in these phases step at a time. And I can just click as well. If I just click somewhere else and click back and forth, we'll just see material being removed. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.